So now that Superman's out and it's officially kicked off the DCU universe, one character that had amazing feedback was Mr. Terrific, and it got me thinking, what other DC characters would I like to see in the DCU? This list that I'm going to make is going to be more skewed to unknown characters, so characters like Wonder Woman or Flash, who we know are going to be in the DCU, won't be on this list. The reason why I say this is because I think the reason why Mr. Terrific resonated with so many people is because he was relatively unknown. Unless you're a DC fan, you never really saw the character before Superman. The same thing goes with Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. Now that Superman's been released, I see a lot of people talking about how those three have become fan favourites and how people who didn't know they existed got introduced to them. I think over the years DC's done a poor job in showing how many DC characters there are. I mean, there's so many characters from DC that have never been on the big screen that deserve it. I mean, that's one thing that I've always liked about James Gunn, is that he introduces unknown characters to the public and they become household names. But before we get into this list, if you like this video, please like, subscribe for more content like this. Starting off this list is Dex-Starr. I'm gonna be honest, the first time I saw this character was from Injustice 2. Ever since then, I've been interested to see this character be done in live action. One thing that James Gunn knows how to do is animals, CGI animals, and Dex-Starr is the perfect character to do that. We've had Crypto, Rocky Raccoon, Cosmo, and I'm sure there's many more. The main reason why I want Dex-Starr is because when you have Dex-Starr, he comes with Atrocitus, another character I want to see. But the thing that I like is that you think Dex-Starr is just a sweet innocent cat until you realise his backstory and how sad it really is. He was a normal house cat living with a kind owner who loved him dearly, and then unfortunately his owner got murdered by an intruder. So already off the gate this is sad, but it gets even worse. The police, after investigating the death, kicked out Dex-Starr because they thought that he was a stray cat living in the house. So imagine, put yourself in Dex-Starr's shoes. Your owner's just been killed, you've been kicked out your house, and now you're wandering the streets. You know, how much worse can it get from here? And their answer is a lot. Two criminals threw Dex-Starr into a sack and threw him off a bridge. At that very moment, as Dex-Starr was flying off the bridge, he had so much rage built up inside of him that a nearby red lantern ring transformed him into Dex-Starr. Needless to say, when you have a cat fueled on rage, wielding the most powerful weapon in the universe, he got his revenge on the two criminals. And because Atrocitus gave him his red lantern ring, he's very loyal to him, and he often accompanies him on missions. That's why I say if we see Dex-Starr, then most likely we'll see Atrocitus be with him. Out of all of the Red Lantern members, Atrocitus is my favourite, but Dex-Starr is probably the most interesting when it comes to general audience and them taking an interest in the core. Now if this was like the DCEU, I would have probably said no, don't put this character in because this universe is serious. But what James Gunn has built is a universe that is very comic booky. I mean, we have Crypto in the universe, so I don't think it's a stretch to put him in. From one Lantern Corps to the next, we have Larfleeze.
You part of the Orange Lantern Corps?
I'm Larfleeze, and I am the Orange Lantern Corps.
Where are the rest of you?
They aren't around anymore.
Look.
I promise you not all my picks are Lantern related, it's just these two. But this character needs to be in this universe. You know how all the Lanterns have a core? Like armies of people protecting different sectors of the universe. That's not the case with the Orange Lanterns. There's only one member, and that's Larfleeze. Because Larfleeze is so consumed by avarice and greed, he refuses to share the power of the Orange Lantern with anyone. Unlike other Lantern Corps, Larfleeze's power allows him to create constructs from the bodies of those he's killed, essentially turning them into zombie-like soldiers underneath his control. Tell me, after listening to that, you wouldn't want to see this dude in live action. We already know that the Green Lantern series will have Sinestro in it, meaning that there's different Lantern Corps that exist that aren't green. Also, I think his backstory is pretty cool too. He was born into a species of farmers and was mistreated by his family due to him being considered ugly. I mean, they're not wrong.
You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
His world was conquered and he was forced into slavery. He later led a revolution against his capturers. After escaping slavery, he became a thief and eventually found his way into the forest of weeds where the Orange Lantern power battery was hidden. The power battery consumed him turning him into the Orange Lantern, or Agent Orange. Now he's driven by the need to acquire everything and hoard it all. Like the Red Lantern Corps, the Orange Lantern Corps are enemies of the Green Lanterns. Again, this is just a cool character that hasn't been done justice so that mass people know about him. I mean, the first time I remember seeing him was from that Green Lantern animated series and the Lego 3 game. Alright, this is the last Lantern character, I promise. The next character is a fan favourite, and honestly she should have gotten a movie a long time ago. I'm talking about Zatanna.
Z, you daft! Stop!
It honestly baffles me how we've never seen this character on the big screen before. I mean, she's such a big part of the DC universe. Whenever you're talking about DC magic users, you have to talk about Zatanna. She's one of the greatest magic users in the DC universe. Her father is a legendary magician called Zatanna, and she works hard to live up to his legacy. Also, her being a professional stage magician is so cool. Another reason why I want to see her is because I really want a Justice League Dark movie. We know that Swamp Thing is going to be R-rated. Could you imagine a Justice League Dark R-rated movie? Another thing that I like about Zatanna is to activate her spells, she has to say them backwards. Speaking of Justice League Dark, you can't have the team without one specific member. It's Etrigan the Demon.
To battle, Etrigan. Should you succeed, I will release you of your bond to me.
If freedom is what's up for trade, then destiny's as good as slave.
Ever since I watched the Justice League Dark movie, I've always wanted to see this character in live action on the big screen. I would say that he's similar to Hulk, in that they're two different entities, one being Etrigan from Hell, another one being Jason Blood, a human who serves as his vessel. And also a trait that Etrigan has is that he rhymes whenever he talks.
To my share of chaos I make my claim, and Etrigan is my name.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
They have two different origin stories. One of them where Jason Blood was created by Merlin, yes, that Merlin, to imprison Etrigan. And another where there were two separate beings who became connected during the time of King Arthur. Even though my man's a demon, he's an anti-hero. He battles evil forces, you know, teams up with Batman, and like I said, he teams up with the Justice League Dark. I also think it would make for a cool story, Jason having to deal with this demon that's inside of him and seeking redemption, while Etrigan is a violent and chaotic creature basically. And eventually they have to come to terms with working with each other rather than against each other. Next is a character that I really want to see, and that's Vixen. Also known as Mari McCabe, she's very similar to Beast Boy in that she has the ability to mimic the power of any animal through her mystical Tantu totem. Her backstory involves a very tragic childhood in Zambesi, where her mother was unfortunately killed by a warlord, and her father, a reverend, gave her the totem to protect her. Later, as a fashion model and an archaeologist, she joined the Justice League after encountering Wonder Woman and using her powers to defeat Cheetah. Another reason why I want her to be in the DCU is because when it comes to black female superheroes, she's the one. Off the top of my head, I really can't think of any other ones that had deserved to be in the movies. In my opinion, DC doesn't have that many black female superheroes to pull from. She's really the only one, and her powers are really cool. Now, after watching Superman and realising how comic booky the universe is, it really made me want Mr. Mxyzptlk. You know, I'm just going to refer to him as Mr. M.
It's Mix. Yes. Split. Lick.
If you don't know who he is, he's basically a whimsical reality bending imp from the 5th dimension and is a frequent foe of Superman. He's known for his playful, often chaotic pranks, and because he can manipulate reality, it often leads to some hilarious and weird stuff happening in the comics. Mr. M's main weakness is that he can be sent back to the 5th dimension by tricking into saying his own name backwards. So oftentimes Superman has to get creative in the ways that he tricks Mr. M into saying his own name backwards. It'd also be good to see a Superman villain that we've never seen before on the big screen. And you know what, since we're talking about 5th dimensional imps, we might as well bring in Batmite. I know that James Gunn's favourite character is Batmite, so the chances of seeing him is high. But unlike Mr. M, Batmite is a fan of Batman and he puts him in these weird situations so that he could fanboy over him. You get the sense that Batmite doesn't really want to hurt Batman, but he just doesn't understand that putting Batman in these situations could lead to his death. And I would love to see a live action Batman interact with Batmite, because for the past few years we've been getting realistic Batmen, and now that we know that DCU's Batman will be more fantastical, I'm really hoping that they use more fantastical villains. Yeah, but that's my list. Honourable mentions go to Plastic Man, Red Tornado and Deadman. Let me know what characters you would like to see in the DCU. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.